YouTube family. I'm just messing around in the shop with a oak 2x4. That's all I'm working with right now. But I'm gonna cut a couple pieces of this off and show you what I'm doing here. Alright, so this one I already have drying. Actually cut it in half and put a 3/4 inch chamber all the way across this piece. And this is gonna be the bottom of one of my little pipes I'm making. And I want to go ahead and do, I don't know, 2 or 3 at a time. So kind of mark that one in half. That's where I'm going to cut it. This seems like the best way to, when you're cutting something in half and then you're gluing it back together, this seems the best way to do it is with a bandsaw. It's like the smoothest cut. I mean, you could do it on a table saw and get a pretty clean cut, but it seems like, you know, like bandsaw boxes and stuff like that, it seems like the bandsaw just does the thinnest cut and it just glues back a lot nicer, it seems like. So I like to use the bandsaw on these things. So I'm gonna cut this thing in half. And with the bandsaw, even if the line is not perfectly straight, even if it's a little curvy, even those curves they'll glue back together pretty perfect, pretty close, like real close. So now I'm gonna open this up, fold it like, you know, put them side by side so I know which ones are the cut, and then I'm gonna do some X's. That way I can do some 3/4 inch holes directly in the center of these. Yeah. Now we'll take these things over to the drill press. I know the lighting's not that great in here, but we working with what we got. Cool. So that's why I got the X's on here. That way I can line this up perfectly with the drill bit, bore bit, whatever you want to call it. This is 3/4 inch. I got my line on the drill bit right here. That way I know when I'm going too deep. So move this over and hit the next one. There we go. We got our chambers in there. So now I'm gonna go match these up as perfect as possible, glue it together and clamp it, and then I have a chamber in that block. Now this one I'm gonna glue it together and clamp it just like I got that one. So put a little bit of glue, make sure I get my dust off of there. Get a clamp ready. This part you really don't have to worry about the glue. There's going to be no fire hitting it or anything like that. So it's just a block of wood glued together. There ain't going to be any burning any type of glue or anything like that. So nothing to worry about there. Put that together like that. As close as I can get it. Because I mean, I'm going to sand it. Once I sand this, you'll hardly be able to see the line at all. Put it in that clamp. Line it up a little more. There we go. Now we'll just wipe that glue off. And the grain is perfectly matched. That's one good thing about I like the bandsaw. It just cuts such a thin line. Once you sand that, you're not even gonna hardly see anything. Alright, so while those are drying, these guys right here, this is another part of it. And I found the center. I got my lines right here, 2 centers. So we're going to take this guy, we're going to draw some lines to mark the centers straight up and down. But this one is going to be a 1/2 inch chamber instead of the 3/4 like that one. So this one's going to be a little smaller. But the thing about this one is I need a chamber going straight up, and then I need a chamber going diagonally, because I want a mouthpiece sticking out at an angle of this one, kind of like that. So I want a mouthpiece sticking up, and then I want that to connect with this chamber. So I'm going to have a chamber for that to slide into, and then a chamber going down, so they're going to meet. But like this. And then this one's gonna have a hole in it for air to go through. I want this line to be perfectly straight up. That so I'm gonna use this as a guide here. Clamp it. Clamp that as perfect as I can get it with that line. So now I know my drill piece is going to go straight down. And take it up. Try to center that line. I want a little bit right here on the top. Leave a little bit on the top there. And I'm lining it center with this line. There we go. A little more. So now we got that one in there. So now we're going to go through the bottom, and I need to center this. I forgot to put my X. So I'm about to put an X on here so I know the exact center of this piece. Alright, there's my X. It's kind of hard to see because the table saw burnt that wood a little bit. But we're going to put that in there, line that up, and we're going to come down and connect with that one. That's it. You can hear it hit there. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper than that just to make sure I clear that. Blow it out real good. There you go. I don't know if you can see the light in there. Yeah, you can see the light. Should be able to if I hold it right. So that's clear. Nice clear chamber in there. So that's that piece. So I have that. That's gonna fit on here like that. So now I have to work on my bowl piece, which is one of these. This is two bowls basically. So the bowl piece is gonna go on here like that. Go ahead and do both of those. Alright, so those small holes are going all the way through the block. So now I gotta change this out. And I want my bowl piece to be a 1/2 inch. So change this piece out. Now we got the bowl pieces cut. Kind of scraped that a little bit, but so just holes on the bottom and then the bowls on the top. Now we got two of them. 2 bowls for the 2 pipes. So now we got a circle there. I'll cut that out on the bandsaw first, and then I'll shape it real nice and sand it on the sander. Have the bowl. The same with this one. It'll be somewhat of a circle. I'll start it here with a circle. Pretty much the back of it like this. I'm gonna go ahead and cut on the bandsaw, make a little bit of a circle, and then the rest of it I'll just kind of sculpt it on the belt sander. Cool. Well, I was just sanding the bowl, the other bowl. Sander flung it, and I had a loose grip on it, cause whatever. But I have no idea where that went. This place is so messy and dusty. I haven't blown it out in a while, and I have stuff everywhere. So this is why you have to have a clean shop. And mine is not very clean. And I've looked everywhere. I don't see that thing anywhere. Alright, so I was sanding my little bowl, not this one, on the sander, lost it, and it was driving me crazy. I was looking everywhere. So I looked everywhere. It was driving me nuts. I looked everywhere. I could not find that bowl anywhere. So I stopped what I was doing. I stopped working on it, and I just started cleaning, because it's it was a mess like all winter. I didn't really work out here much because it's so cold, and I don't have dust collection, so it's kind of I don't like to work out here unless I have the fans going and the doors open, and it's kind of like a wind tunnel through here. It's cool because I have air coming from like the field. It comes through this door, and then it just blows through, and then I have the fans on, and it's, who needs dust collection, right? It's like a huge wind tunnel. But anyway, I blew it all out. I cleaned up all the dust and organized. I moved stuff, and I still never found that freaking thing. I still can't find it. So, but anyway, I'm just gonna have to make another one. And now that it's all organized and a whole lot cleaner, I still have more organizing to do. I moved this table to the side to make more room. I took all kinds of stuff out of here. Still a little bit of a mess, but it's a whole lot neater, cleaner. You can see the floor, and I looked everywhere. That bowl just disappeared. So I don't know if maybe I swept it up and threw it in the fire pit along with some dust or what. I don't care. It ain't that big of a deal, but at least I'm more organized and clean now. It looks a whole lot nicer. You can see the floor, not so much going on. So I'm gonna make another bowl to replace that other one, and I'm gonna get back to sanding and making some pipes in a way nicer, organized area. So that's pretty much what I mean by sculpting. I'm just taking these pieces and then I'm just shaping them nice and smooth and round. And then I'll do the bottom part the same way. Of course I still have to drill the holes in there for these holes to match up to. But that's what I'm doing. I'm just sculpting these pieces just to make them look nice together. Just to create a little bit of art. So I got these things sanded and shaped pretty much how I want them. I can always sand a little more if I want to. But the next step before I do that is I have to drill these holes going in down into that chamber to match up with these pieces. So I'm gonna drill both of these, the holes for the bowl and the mouthpiece, and then I'm going to go ahead and make the stems to come out for the mouthpiece. So now them holes go down into that chamber inside, so this piece is pretty much hollowed out inside. There we go. Cool. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and sand these a little more. Sculpt them a little more to how I want them. This is pretty good. A lot of time I'll just take some 220 and hand sand them real good, and then I'll glue them like this and clamp them together. So alright, I got these things sanded pretty smooth with 220. I just kind of hand sanded them. After I glue them together, I'll sand them a little bit more. One of the main concerns I get with these chambered pipes is people concerned with smoking glue, and I'm gonna show you why that doesn't happen. First off, this is a solid oak bowl, so the fire pretty much all it's hitting is just this oak, which hardly even burns. You can smoke out of this thing for years and it'll pretty much stay the same. It's not gonna burn like it would in a fire. And then on the other side we have this small hole on the bottom, so if a flame does come out, which I mean usually when you're smoking a tobacco pipe, you know, you're not sucking the flame in there hard enough really for the flame to come out. But if you were to, it's just going to come out of this little hole here. And then these holes, as you can see, are quite a bit bigger. So that hole, the glue is going to be around here, right around this hole, and then you have this small hole that's going to be centered inside of that bigger hole right there. So even if the flame did come through, it would go right down the center of this hole and not even touch any wood. See what I'm saying? So that hole will be centered, and then you glue it right in the center of that hole. So there's no wood or glue underneath this bowl, really. See what I'm saying? So anyway, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna glue these together. A little bit of glue on here around this hole. Really, I guess we could just put it around here. A little easier. And try to keep the glue, you know, around it and not necessarily on the hole. Wipe that glue off. Just have to kind of neatly glue it, wipe that glue off. So really there's no glue like on that hole, it's just around it, about the size of that hole. So now we're going to center this as perfect as possible in the middle of that hole. Just like that. And we'll hold it there for a second. Some pressure. And then we'll leave that clamp there for about an hour or so, hour or longer, and it'll get real tacky. And after an hour you could take this apart as long as it's warm outside. After about an hour you could put pressure on it and it'd be very hard to break that apart. And then the same with this one. And it doesn't matter on this one really, but also this hole, this chamber, this is also chambered through here, as you can see. But this hole is bigger than this one. So that hole will actually go over that hole, which doesn't matter anyway, but there's no flame even near that. But I'm just showing. Also, people that are concerned with cleaning these pipes, I've also had people talk about how that it would be too hard to clean these because you can't take them apart. Well, really the only two holes that you need to clean is this stem with that hole, which you would probably never even have to really clean that because no really tar or anything is going to come through this to clog it up. And then this hole, that's probably about the only hole you would have to clean, is this one. It would take years and years to clog up this whole big 3/4 inch chamber. Like, it would be impossible to clog that up. So anyone with concerns about cleaning these things, there's your answer. Because I've had people say, like, I would buy one of those if I could take it apart, but I don't make them where you could take them apart. So I guess I could, but that would be quite a bit of work. So get that excess glue off. Just have that ring of glue. And then we'll line this one up. Put that, line it up over that other hole. And bam. Hold it with a little bit of pressure. And there we go. We'll leave that for about an hour. Cool. There we go. Two of them glued up. I think these things turned out pretty cool looking. I still have to, once they dry like this, then I go over them with like 300 grit and like really sand it. Give it a smooth sanding. Just make it super smooth, extra smooth. And here's one with a finish on it. So that's kind of what it'll look like once I put a finish on them after they dry. Also, I think I'm going to start making some also with a carburetor maybe in the front. That way, no matter whether you're a left hand or right hander, you can hit the carburetor with no problem. Sometimes I like to put them on the side, but then somebody might not be, you know, right-handed or left-handed, however I like it. They might like it on the other side, would prefer that, so it's easier just to kind of put one in the front, you know, that way either hand you use. And the chamber goes all the way across, so you can put the carburetor in the front. And I'd probably just use the same type of dowel rod and just have it sticking out a little bit. So I think I might do a few like that too, change them up. I'm planning on making quite a few of these because a couple of the local smoke shops have been a little interested in some of the pipes that I showed them. So they said that they would sell them. So that's kind of my intention, is just to take these and have them put in a smoke shop and hope they sell. And then here's some little guys without chambers, just little simple pipes, a tray of them. So I could also put chambers in these also. I have. But these, I just wanted to make these simple and cheap, you know, like between $10 and $15 pipes, you know, to sell at the smoke shop. So this one right here, I actually finished with this spart urethane stuff. So I guess I could also, I don't know, I think it's a little prettier with the clear coat on it rather than the mineral oil. It's a little more shiny. So I like doing these big ones with the clear coat. Makes them a little more nicer and shiny, a little, can be a knick-knack for looks, you know, also on your coffee table, shelf, whatever. So looks kind of cool. This one's just a little simple pipe, so I put mineral oil on them. Anyway, thanks for watching and hanging out while I made a couple pipes. Now I'm gonna get back to work and make a bunch of them.